Welcome to One Topic, where we stick to one topic. My name is Autumn Fisher.
My name is Greg. Russ.
Nothing is everything. Oh. Do you know what that's from?
Yeah, Sky Rizzy.
Yeah. Nothing on my skin. Yeah, that's for me.
Yeah, it's fucked up. It's fucked up that we know the songs to goddamn pharmaceutical commercials.
Oh.
What is this world? What is this fucking dystopia? Here's a medication you can't just go into the store and buy, but we're still going to sell it to you. That way it lives top of your mind. And if you ever I couldn't tell you what Sky Rizzy's for, though. So
It's for psoriasis.
See, maybe I need it. I don't
Nothing
have
on my skin.
psoriasis. I have seborrheic dermatitis.
Seborrheic.
I don't know how to pronounce it.
Seborrheic.
What the fuck is that? It sounds like thunder.
Where?
I'm in Kansas City, sitting in a hotel room.
Oh, right.
And I think it's probably just someone pushing a cart down the hall, but it sounded like thunder.
It was snowing here earlier.
Braggart.
I was so excited.
Fucking braggart.
Yeah, well, jealous.
Yeah, because past 2 years in New York, I think we had one snowstorm last year where anything accumulated. And the year before that, it was 0.
Yeah, I think the year before for Maryland, I think it was a little bit. And then last year, it was nothing. Maybe it snowed just a little bit. This is the first snow.
Seborrheic dermatitis.
Seborrheic, you got it. What did you call it? Seborrheic?
Yeah, probably.
It's fine.
You know,
Nothing is everything.
it's patches of oily, scaly, dry, flaky skin in your head, and near your nose, and in your ears, and on your chest. And those are the only places.
On your stupid chest.
I know Kansas City was cold last night. That was nice. It got to 28.
Yeah.
But
That
no
is nice.
snow. No snow. I saw the football game in Cleveland.
Yeah. And that guy is so excited.
Oh,
So cute.
I was at a restaurant eating a $50 steak on the company's credit card. And
Was it really $50?
Yeah, $50 steak.
How was it? Was it amazing? Was it dry aged and that's why it was so pricey?
No, it was just a fillet.
A filet.
They had the game on is the point. So I didn't see any excited guy. I just saw all the snow and it looked fun.
Yeah, there's a I guess he's the quarterback for something and he's really cute and he was really excited about the snow. Jameis, I think is his name. Jameis.
Quarterback.
He was really sweet.
Why was he doing snow angels?
No, it was just he was being interviewed and he was like, I was just so excited that it was snowing. It didn't start out snowing. And then it's like, I love playing football. This is football weather. And he was so smiley and cute. He was just like a little kid excited.
Jameis Winston. It's his name, Jameis Winston.
Jameis Winston. There he is.
It started as rain, I saw. Then it turned to snow. Beautiful, gorgeous. You want snow? Good luck. You'll be taunted with snow. You'll see images of snow in the Northeast. I mean, the Northeast. The Northwest. Got to get my directions down. No longer snows in the Northeast. Maybe in New England. But where we live, ain't going to happen anymore.
That's not true.
It was
It
80
happened
degrees. It was 80 degrees. A little sprinkling of snow is not a good snowstorm.
No, it wasn't a snowstorm. It was a snow something.
I hear all these stories from old people. Man, I grew up in New York. I lived on Long Island. When I was a kid, the winters were nonstop snow. There were blizzards constantly. And I wonder how much of that is not necessarily made up, but exaggeration.
Revisionist history.
But if you also look into it, it's like, yeah, there were blizzards.
Yeah.
Blizzards written down in the history books. And I can't tell you the last time we had a blizzard.
4 years ago that it snowed enough that I had to dig my car out of my parking spot. So it wasn't that long ago.
I just wish it would snow constantly.
Yeah, it'd be nice. You got to move north.
I thought I'd moved north. I thought I
Yeah,
left
you are
Georgia
pretty
to
north.
go to somewhere. I mean, the truth is, none of the United States is that north. If you look across the ocean and look at Europe,
Oh, sure.
New York's on par with Spain,
Yeah.
but they got the current, the warm water currents that affect their weather. So that keeps them from being too cold. That's what's always crazy to me. People came from Europe to the United States, the pilgrims, and it
Yeah.
was just fucking freezing. They just died. Like, what? Why is it so cold? Thought we went south a bit. Surprise, motherfuckers. You know, got the Gulf Stream protecting your baby ass.
What a wild thing, a journey that must have been. To come and like, I think as a woman, I would be pretty pissed at my husband for like making us go to this different world
No,
and
you
then
wouldn't.
freeze to death
No.
because we weren't prepared and like he didn't know anything. He didn't know how to do anything.
No.
And I have to follow him because he's my husband.
It sounds like that you're playing on experience.
No, I'm saying like at the time, if you're a woman and you're married
I
to
know what
someone
you're
and
saying.
they decide, yeah, it's like you're going.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah, that's not experience.
I'm just saying that your feelings were influenced being dragged to Maryland.
Oh.
That's what it sounded like.
Oh, no. I mean,
You're told by your
No.
husband that you're going to move to this place that
no,
you
that's
don't
not
want
what
to be.
happened.
That you don't want to be.
That's not what happened at all. But yeah, if you think about having to do that and then that husband of yours is so ill prepared and people are dying around you, you're just like freezing to death in the middle of winter with your
This sounds
kids.
like your experience moving to Maryland.
No, it's
whatever
not
that
my
apartment,
experience.
whatever that apartment building that you lived in, people around you probably dying of being poor, the heat not working in the apartment.
No, none of that happened.
It
Someone
sounds-
across in an apartment building across the street got dismembered,
See?
but that didn't happen to me.
This matches. This is a one
I wasn't
for one
friends
match.
with them or anything. No, I didn't but no, that's the difference. I had a choice. If you're back in the, whatever, when was that when they came over?
You only
what's
think
the rhyme?
You had a choice. No, you go back to then. Maybe they loved it because their duty was to love their husbands.
Yeah.
And they weren't allowed to feel or think anything else. And they did a good job.
Just because you're not allowed to doesn't mean you don't.
At some point, they got so good at it, those feelings never bubbled to the surface.
No, that's not true.
Like from the moment they were born, they were told, you need to prepare for your husband. It's like the Hasidic community.
People, yeah, they're miserable sometimes too. Sometimes they're happy, but
people look at that community and with like sadness, like, oh, those poor women, especially when you see the kids and they're wearing clothes that have colors before they get to a certain age and they can only wear black.
Isn't it how you feel? I feel like you've talked about that with
I think there were
community.
Yeah, I think there were times that you see kids running around on the playground just acting as kids act, right, and thinking about how things are going to really change for them and their lives are just kind of laid out. It's like, this is what you're going to do. This is what you're going to be. And it's pretty fucked up, meaning the judgment that I pass. If you talk to the people, because it's drilled into their heads at such a young age, like they like the community, they like all the culture that comes along with it, the holidays. And there's this idea that if you could go talk to one of them, you could convince them, I know you don't like being in this community. Come on, I can help you get out. It's like, they big fuck you. No, I like being here. I know there's some that don't like but it's well documented. And even then, I guess it's pretty difficult for people to leave just because everything they've ever known is then taken away from them. They leave it, but their community and family say, all right, fine. We're not talking to you. You have access to none of this anymore. And then they're just on their own. And it sucks.
Well, I think it's wrong to go to someone and tell them that they're doing things wrong. I don't think that's anybody's place to go into anyone's community and say, you're doing this wrong, I guess.
I agree.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying. My feelings are a little misguided.
Yeah, it's like
All,
all those white people who are angry on the behalf of the oppressed.
yeah, because they don't know any better. That's the
Right.
greatest.
Yeah. Yeah.
I am privileged. I had the opportunity to go to a very good school on my daddy's dime, and I learned a lot of things that you'll never learn, but I'm going to share them with you because my privilege shouldn't just benefit me. That's the fucking approach. It's like, shut up. White people are the fucking worst. They are. They are the most annoying, self-righteous, pretentious fucking pieces of shit.
I don't disagree. I feel like, of course, there are people within anyone that you say, you know, when you talk about an entire community or an entire race of people, there's going to be people who aren't like that. I don't feel like that, but
The white
absolutely people are like that.
yeah, the white
White
people
be
around
like
me,
that.
the rich white people around me,
Yeah.
they all carry some kind of weird guilt for their richness. I got
Well,
it.
gosh, especially being in New York and being able to survive in New York with a husband and more than one child. Like that's so expensive. And then you think about, and then you see people who are the same as you, right? Where they have a husband and they have kids, multiple kids, and you know that they're not making the same money as you do. So you think, wow, they must be really struggling. Their life isn't as good as mine. And they're still doing it. Aren't they brave?
So strong.
Yeah.
The average
people.
rent in New York is $3,873 a month, and that's counting all the boroughs. So that's the Bronx, Staten Island,
Right.
Brooklyn, Queens, and Manhattan. If
Is
you
that
went,
like a one bedroom?
yeah, that's a one bedroom. That actually just says the average rent. So
Okay.
it's all out of all
Across
rents,
the
all
board.
bedrooms. I wonder what Manhattan is. It's
Nobody, who lives in Manhattan though?
plenty of people. Over 1 million
just-
people live in Manhattan.
But I mean, I guess I meant real people. Not like legacy New Yorkers. I feel like it's really hard. Like, I think it would be really difficult to move into Manhattan, right? Like, how do you even move in there? Unless you really have tons of money.
1.6 million people live in Manhattan, where the average rent is $44.57 a month, $4,457 a month.
Yeah, normal people can't do that.
And again, that's the average. Like
Yeah.
all the neighborhoods that you'd want to live in Manhattan. Good luck. The fact that I lived in Greenwich Village, which isn't even necessarily a desirable neighborhood, it's in lower Manhattan, but Greenwich Village has been broken up into the West Village, as real estate agents like to do, because the West is prettier with more tree-lined streets, and then Greenwich Village just becomes the area around Washington Square Park and NYU. So there's a lot of annoying college kids around. But
Oh, okay.
being 27 and paying $1,200 a month to live in Manhattan in Greenwich Village, I was like, wow, this is
27
the
seems
unicorn.
cheap.
What's that?
Is 27 cheap?
No, I was 27 and I paid $1,200.
Oh, yeah, that's real cheap.
I mean, 27 would be cheap these days.
Right. Okay. We're flipping back and forth on 1,227, but yeah, 27
years
sounds
of age.
cheap, and being 27, but then also 1,200 is uber cheap. But I saw that. I mean, you made that video of your place. Whoa, that's little. That was weird. That was a weird place.
Weird. I don't know if I call it weird.
Well, it was just because it was a shotgun, right? And it was just so small.
I don't know if I'd call it I guess technically it's a shotgun because it went from the front of the building to the back, but the building wasn't that deep. It was more just like a box with a bathroom.
But it was a long rectangle, right? It was a rectangle.
Yeah, it was a rectangle shape, I guess.
Yeah, so that's why I feel like it's a shotgun. And then it's just so small. Skinny. Like
The whole thing is
bothers
probably
me is that it's skinny.
It was, it allowed me to survive in a city when I wasn't really doing my best, when I wasn't making money, when I was spending the money I had on things I shouldn't have been spending it on. Not just illicit drugs, but, booze,
Right.
eating pizza every night instead of ramen. Should have been thrifty and eating ramen every night. But I had that mini fridge. I couldn't really store too much.
Right. And you had like an industrial toilet, right?
It was a tankless toilet, direct line to the wall, where the water would shoot out, never clogged once. It was a powerful toilet, and I wish every house had a toilet like that. I have to think that it probably saves money because it flushes with a lot of force, and the water does come out quickly, but it's not as long of a flush as a tank toilet where the whole tank is released.
Yeah.
So this idea that's like, well, we need to be efficient with water. I can't say with confidence, but I feel like if you just flush that toilet with the direct line once, it uses less water than a tank. I'll have to do some research. That can be my next research project. When the last one I did was in 9th grade. Can dogs feel temperature with their paws?
Oh, how did you do that?
I didn't. I made it up. I made it all fucking up.
You did?
Yeah. I forget how I said I conducted the experiment. It was something to do with shade and then hot pavement. I came up with an experiment that I never conducted. And I just made up results.
That's like the kid that did the turtles with the straws. That all was made up.
I don't know what that is.
The kid, like the whole thing about straws killing turtles was made up by a kid who wrote a paper about it. And he just extrapolated how many straws restaurants go through on average, and then extrapolated that out into how many restaurants were in his like town or whatever. And then maybe found some information about turtles and plastic and then just linked those two together. And then the news, maybe like local news, caught it first, and then it spread. And then everybody started using paper straws because it turned into this like strange cause that people glommed onto.
Well, that's why people put little shoes on their dogs now, because of my experiment. I concluded that yes, they can feel temperature with their paws, and when it's hot and it's asphalt, you better put those little booties on.
Uh-huh.
The straw thing, paper straws, outside of them disintegrating, and just talking about it makes my skin crawl and makes my mouth like.
Knowing the feeling of a paper straw?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's the same idea of shoving a paper towel in my mouth, which is...
That's a great analogy.
I'm
it's
having
true. It is like that.
I'm having a physical reaction.
Uh-huh.
The paper straw is disgusting. Outside of that and then the disintegration, wasn't there some report that the glue they use to hold it together is actually somewhat poisonous?
I don't know. I haven't heard
it's
that.
Obviously not killing people, and it probably take large amounts. But the way people just jump to something,
I know.
They just decide, oh, plastic straws no good. So either get rid of plastic straws and use the paper straws, or just get rid of straws altogether, and we'll make a big plastic cup with a very thick plastic sippy lid.
Yeah,
because that will solve the fucking problem, using 6 times the amount of plastic. Same thing with the shopping bag ban that cities have. New York apparently implemented it, but you go to the bodega and they still give you a plastic bag.
Do they charge you 10 cents for it?
No, they just hand it out.
Oh, okay.
You're not allowed.
Oh, because they eliminated it altogether.
There's no plastic
bags. Yeah.
Stores will charge, but you're going to get a paper bag or a reusable bag.
Yeah.
But the plastic bag ban, what you get quite often, the reusable bag is still made of plastics, and it's so many more times the amount of plastic, because what happens is people forget, especially in New York when you're not driving to the store. You could just leave those bags in your car and have them if you were driving, but you leave the house, you forget the fucking bag, and you got to buy another one when you're at the store.
Right.
And so these things collect, and if you throw them out, it's so much worse for the environment than just using the very thin plastic bag that they banned.
And people get multi-use out of those. At least 2 uses.
Well, the
Right? Because
plastic,
you bring them home, you bring your stuff home in the plastic bag, you keep the plastic bag forever under your sink, and then you use it for your cat litter or your little trash cans.
yeah, I've still got a
And
collection
sometimes
of
if
them.
it's like dry trash, I just throw this, like I just empty the little plastic bag and reuse it.
At my last apartment, that was the trash can.
Right.
I used to tie it to the handle on the cabinet under the sink. That was where I put my trash.
Do you have a trash can now?
Yes, I have a trash can
Wow.
now. I think the bag was a good idea, though, because it's in your face and you remember just to grab it on your way out and throw it in the trash can that's on the street outside of your apartment.
I mean, I don't see a difference between that and an actual trash can.
Yeah, the actual trash can goes out once a week, where this would go out when it was full, or if you put something in there that stunk.
Yeah.
I mean, you're right. There is no difference. I just like the other day we had chicken that we ordered. What was it? The banchan chicken that everyone fucking
I love
loves.
banchan.
It's fine. This first time I had it, that was fine.
I love it with like rice and then the pickled radish. Yum.
Yeah, the pickled radish was good. But as a
Pickled radish tasted to me the first time I had it. It was like a cube of coleslaw.
Don't ruin it for me. Don't ruin it.
You don't like coleslaw?
Yeah, coleslaw. I mean, there's a wide range of coleslaw.
That's true.
It's a difficult question to answer very directly. Do I like coleslaw? Depends.
Yeah. That's like cornbread.
You like the chunks of corn in your cornbread?
I don't like the chunks of corn. They're all like wimpy and yeah, I don't like those kernels, but I don't like it too cakey either. But I also don't like it too dry. You know what I mean? It's weird. You have to be like, I do like cornbread, but what type of cornbread is it? So you're right. What type of coleslaw is it? Is it really vinegary and weird? Is it too
runny,
mayonnaisey? Is it like too thick? Nobody wants that. Well, some people do, but I don't.
I guess there's a person who likes every type of coleslaw.
They just love coleslaw. British people probably love it because they love vinegar and they love mayonnaise.
I think I like vinegar. Being in Kansas City, how many different types of barbecue are there?
Yeah,
there's like
I feel
Texas,
like there's 5.
Well, there's Texas barbecue. There's North Carolina barbecue. Memphis, I think, has a barbecue.
Yes,
and Kansas City has a barbecue.
I think Memphis is more like a lighter color. It's like more orange looking.
I know Texas is heavy in the sauces.
Yeah, I don't know what Texas looks like. I know the southern barbecue is like sweet and brown, like brown
the vinegar.
sugar.
It's like North Carolina, it's like pulled pork vinegar. That's
I thought that was Kansas City was the vinegar.
No, Kansas City is sauce, but it's burnt ends.
Oh, yum!
And slow cooking, but all barbecue is slow cooking.
Yeah.
So
what does that mean?
Yeah, it's like I don't think that sets you apart necessarily. Yeah. But the vinegar base, that's the one I would go to every single time.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I like some vinegar.
Sauces all over my fucking fingers, and then.
Well, if you're eating ribs.
Yeah, and then it's all over your fucking face.
Yeah.
I know.
I was hosting
pig.
trivia, and there was a guy on a team, and he was eating wings, and he just he was just like talking to me with sauce all over his face.
There are the people who do not give a shit.
Yeah.
They will dig into a wing with no dignity. And maybe that's the way you need to do it. Because is there any dignity when you're gnawing flesh off of another creature's bone? I don't know.
Well, that's fine. But also, if you're going to talk to somebody else, wipe your goddamn mouth. I know,
but the people dive in and they don't care. Like, this is just part of it. And I'm not done eating, so I'm not going to clean up at this point. Now, if he wasn't done eating his wings and he kept the sauce on his face while he talked to you, it's extra strange. I would
the whole thing was strange.
Yeah, in the middle of a meal, I would still wipe my face and fingers to talk to a person. But
I probably would wipe my face after every, time. I don't want that all over my face. Ew. It was weird. I was like, okay. I was like on his shirt. He was a mess.
I think I do the same thing. Every wing gets a wipe.
Sure.
But I don't use the wet wipes. No thanks. Maybe at the end.
I'm not like shoving my face. Like there's ways to eat wings without like smashing it into your face. It's not like a rib. At least I kind of understand because it's bigger than your mouth. But wings, you can control that. It's all over your fingers and stuff. That makes sense. But your face. Have some decorum.
That's why I'm not into the sauce-based. I like wings. I'll eat wings. The bonchon chicken.
Oh, did you get it with the bone or no bone?
We did a pack of wings and a couple drumsticks and then a pack of chicken fingers or whatever the hell they call them.
Like the strips?
Yeah, the strips.
Yeah. Was it like $70? That sounds like a lot. Because bonchon's expensive.
It was, each box was $20 and then the fries were $6 and then I guess the radish came with it.
Yeah, the radish comes with it.
And then you order like some extra sauce, like a ranch or something.
Did you didn't get any rice?
No, I didn't get rice.
I love rice.
I saw the rice. I didn't get the rice. This all
Their
stemmed
little
from the garbage
bao
can.
buns are really, really good with the pork belly.
Oh, keep that in mind. There was a place called Mad for Chicken that I thought was better. It was Korean chicken.
Ooh.
And they had a few stores opening up in New York, but that didn't survive in our neighborhood. I don't know
Bummer.
why. Probably because we're the neighborhood of the rich white people, and I'm not eating unhealthy fried chicken, and I'm not giving that to my babies.
Oh, it sounds like, though, in the rich neighborhood, it'd be like, we support the Korean family. Wow, look at them. They're so
They were torn. They probably would say that. We support them, but...
but...
My health. I really watch what I put into my body.
Whole Foods.
It's a shame. It's fucking a shame. Like, the neighborhood used to be mob central Italian, and you can read stories about the mob bosses that would come by, and some of the lower level guys lived there. And, like everything else, then you get the yuppie class that moves in. We're going to fix up this neighborhood and make it like Amelie, like a Wes Anderson film. It's going to be quirky and cool.
It's going to be like La Chocolat.
Everyone on the street's going to be a character. And we're all going to have interesting stories to tell. Fuck off. That's the problem when I moved to Bushwick. It's a highly Puerto Rican, Dominican neighborhood.
Right.
Which before that it was Italian. Then the Italians fled the city. And by the time I moved in, white people were starting to move to that neighborhood. I didn't have that much money. I wanted to respect the people who lived there. But you saw the people who moved in. It's like, we're going to change this place.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not your fucking, I guess it's your place to change. You live there, but you talk a big game about respecting people and other cultures. But at the end of the day, you come in. That's probably why you speak a big game, because you're compensating for the fact you don't really give a shit.
Yeah, it is strange to come into someone else's space and then expect it to be different for you.
You don't have an organic foods market. You only have Seatown. Yeah, that's the way it goes.
Yeah. But at the same time, I'm sure people that live there would like some things to be better. So I don't feel like there's anything wrong with that, but...
No, there's a middle ground.
Yeah, there's a middle ground. How about improve it, but don't... Well, I was going to say improve it, but don't change it. And then also improve is subjective.
No, Christina, too, who was born in Bushwick, whose parents were Puerto Rican and her grandparents. Her grandmother didn't even speak any English, but they owned a building in the neighborhood. And she told me that, when the white people came in and started cleaning some stuff up, then they liked that part of it.
Yeah.
Because they didn't rent, they didn't get screwed because they owned the building. But
because if it improves, then the rent increases because they can get more money for rent because it's nicer.
And they were nice landlords. They just let the people who were living there continue to live there for the rates that they were living there.
That's nice.
But a lot of people get displaced. And I understand this is part of the way it goes. It's a little more aggressive because, like I said, Bushwick, the Italian people, they fled. Now, was it similar to white flight in other cities? Probably. Sure. Maybe people, I don't know why they left. It does feel a little more aggressive, though, later on when the white people with money start moving in to take
Well,
over the neighborhood.
historically, white people have done a lot of moving in and changing. So I
But-
think that's probably why.
in general, though, yes, I agree with you. I'm not trying to dismiss that.
No.
But in general, when people really start to dig into it, it's like people have always moved around and taken over places and
Yes.
displaced people.
Yeah.
So I know I'm complaining about it. It's
That's a
also
good
a thing
point.
that's just happened throughout history. I think, again, what annoys me about it is I was a person who moved to that neighborhood because I didn't have a lot of money. I could get a good apartment. If I had a lot of money at that point, would I have moved to that neighborhood because I could have bought something bigger and put money into it and fix it up? I don't know. I can't say if I would have done that or not. I think I would have probably lived somewhere else if I had enough money. But I tried to respect the neighborhood as it was and get to know. That's another thing. White people fucking don't say hello to each other. Like, I live in buildings with other people. That building in Manhattan, it's like just a variety of people, and
Yeah.
we knew each other. Not like we would hang out constantly, but we all knew each other and said hello. And then I moved into the next building in Brooklyn, and I'm passing a guy who lived there, a white guy. I'm like, hey, how's it going? Not even a fucking word. No word. Like, I don't feel as though there's much of a sense of community. They talk about community and it being so important. I'm going to move in and really shape this community up. It's like, you don't fucking really even say hello to anyone. You're all
reminds me
standoffish and
of-
weird aliens.
That reminds me of what was it? Bridesmaids. When Kristen Wiig has to sit in coach and everybody else is in first class. And the rich friend, was saying like, don't worry, she'll be happier in coach. Like she said there's a better sense of camaraderie in coach.
On some level.
Yeah.
Every once in a while you glance at a person and you can tell that you're both thinking, yeah, this sucks, doesn't it? And there's a nice moment of connection. But I feel like for the most part, riding in coach, you look at everyone and resent them. Like, I hate that you're here.
I hate that I'm here. I hate that you're here.
Yeah, this is already miserable and your presence makes it worse.
I do feel a little funny on both sides walking through first class to get to coach. Like, I think about them and how they must feel like, well, not they must feel, they probably don't. Plenty of people don't care, but I would imagine some of them, if it were me, I might want to explain why I'm there. Like, my company paid for the seat, or I used points. This
If
is
you're in
special
first
for
class?
me. Yeah, in first class. And then for me, not being in front, like the person walking through them, I feel like, oh, look at you guys. Aren't you special?
I told you before, I think I've brought this up, that I would fly first class, one of the jobs I had, because when we would travel with so much gear that sometimes it actually was cheaper because we're traveling with
Right.
oversized cases, overweight cases. And if you're flying first class, you get a much more of a break with that kind of stuff. And it would come out to be cheaper. Or if it was close, we still wanted to fly first class. So sometimes maybe it wasn't necessarily cheaper. But once I was there, you board first, obviously. Most planes, people walk through first class. You do have the planes where you turn left for first class, you turn right for everything else. But boarding first, everyone else has to come on after you, and you're sitting there. I'm so embarrassed. I put my head down and turned it away because I didn't want to make eye contact with anyone. And the plane where you turn left for first class was even worse in the end, because when we were getting off the plane, an attendant was holding their arm out, blocking everyone in coach.
Oh, right. You're like,
So
no,
we could
please
get off.
don't make.
I just feel like you could both get off like a zipper merge type of thing at the same time. But people who pay for that or are used to it, they expect it. And if they don't get that kind of service, they're going to throw a fucking fit.
Yeah.
And
I should go first.
I guess on some level, if you're paying $10,000 for a lie flat seat on an international flight, maybe you should get off the plane first.
I don't see why. I mean, everyone's getting off the plane. You've already had the most comfortable ride than the people before you, the people in coach. So zip her out. Church rules. Let's go.
I do agree with that. I'm just trying to come up with a reason as to why. Because those tickets are so expensive. It blows my mind. And I was reading, like, they don't really make money off of first class. A lot of, businesses, there was the distinction at some point where it's first class and then business class.
Right.
And I don't know, business class was a little different, but it was because they could charge companies a shitload of money. It's like, yeah, who cares? The company's paying. That's the approach of the employees. So the prices were inflated. But with, remote work, there's less business travel.
Right.
So business class isn't making them as much money. And I was reading a lot of first class is just people who are upgraded, people who have status with airlines. And
right.
The
that makes sense too.
The flight day comes and they haven't sold the tickets and like, all right, we're upgrading you. Or you're just
I'd
really
want to
rich.
say that to them, to the people walking by. I got upgraded.
Yeah, I don't really like, I like being here, but I don't think I'm
happy
better.
to be here, but I'm not special.
I don't think I'm better than you.
Right.
Don't get me wrong. I'm very
also,
happy.
but I also feel like who cares, right? Like we've all one day you might also be in first class. Just like me today.
Probably not.
Probably not though. Because I guess there is a little bit of yes, because you like it. You're excited to be there. It's not like I'm so uncomfortable. I don't deserve this. It's like, oh, awesome. I'm in first class.
Well, I still hate the service though too. Where
we're in first class. Any type of service.
Like there's been times I'm getting on a plane, going to my coach seat, and nobody can get on the plane because they're serving the first class people their beverages. So the attendant's blocking the aisle for a second so they can get their fucking champagne or orange juice or whatever, the mimosa.
Yeah.
Seriously, you're going to hold the plane up. Yes, they're deserving of their drink. They're parched. You know what it's like to go through the airport. It's a very difficult experience. Now we need to pamper them. I don't like being served the pre-flight drink. I don't like the hot towel. I don't.
What's the hot towel for?
I don't know.
Is it for your hands?
I have no clue.
I wouldn't know what to do with it.
I think it's wipe your face.
Yeah, but I got makeup on. I'm not wiping my face with this towel. And where's this towel come from? Where's it being washed? How'd you get it so hot?
That's a good question.
Yeah. Where's this been? You microwaved it?
I don't know. What do they do? How do they get them hot?
I don't know. I mean, they tell you not to have, don't drink the coffee because the coffee urns are never cleaned.
Yeah, but I still drink the coffee.
I do too.
I was thinking about that yesterday when I was on the plane and got a cup of coffee. It's like, you're not supposed to drink the coffee. But then again, the Keurig I have at home is disgusting.
Is it?
You're supposed to descale it, which isn't.
Oh yeah, how do you do that? I have that button. I don't know how to make it happen.
You have to have a special packet of disinfectant.
Oh, well, I don't have pods. I have the reusable pods.
Well, that's what I have. I have it's a Keurig machine, but it's a kind of metal pod that I just put coffee in.
Oh, okay. So you have to. I wonder if you could make your own. I bet you there's DIY stuff.
I'm sure you could put soap water in there if you wanted. Run it a few times after the fact to rinse it out. But outside of that, if you ever really take the machine apart and look at the different sections, it's fucking filthy. It really should be cleaned on probably a weekly basis, and I clean it on a 6-monthly basis.
6 monthly.
You ever take the filter out of your dishwasher and clean that?
No.
Yeah, you're supposed to. Most people don't know this.
Oh, right.
It's
down in the middle, right? In the inside.
Yeah, it's at the bottom. And depending on the brand, it's either in the middle. It can be offset a bit.
Should I do mine right now?
No.
What's in there?
You can set up a remote kit for their next recording.
Okay.
And then do it from the kitchen and then live on the show.
Well, I'm in the dining room.
Oh, that's where you're
set
up
up. So I can walk over there.
Do you know how to take it apart?
No, I don't.
Yeah, do the research.
Okay. Next week. Okay.
it wasn't nearly as bad as I thought it was going to be because it's something that most people never think about and don't do.
Right.
And who knows how old the dishwasher in my apartment is. I know people have lived there before, so I was thinking about their filth being in there.
That's a good point.
And
Ew.
I have to say it wasn't nearly as bad as I thought it was going to be. It was still a lot of gross gunk.
Yeah.
Not because it can smell. This one didn't really have a smell, but I also wasn't breathing deep because I didn't want to smell anything. It's supposed to be done pretty regularly. Clean the filter. I guess washing machines have filters too. Especially the front loading ones.
Ew. Everything's so gross.
You're supposed to keep the chunks on your plate. Don't completely.
No, not the chunks. You're just supposed to. You have to get rid of like solid foods, but
Well, yes,
leave out the other stuff.
When I say chunks, I think of like just some kind of sauce that is hardened and.
Yeah, you can leave that because it gives the soap something to grip onto, right?
That's what they say.
Yeah.
You're actually doing a disservice if you don't have grime on your plates.
And you're wasting water, which is killing the turtles full of plastic.
Even though the dishwasher uses much less water than hand washing.
Yeah.
Unless you do the thing where you fill the sink and dip. Ugh. It's not clean
that's
then.
good. You can do that when you have a split sink.
Why? How?
Because you have one side that's dirty water and one side that's clean. So you have all your stuff in one side full of soapy hot water, and you keep the silverware at the bottom because it needs to like disinfect the longest. And then you take it out and you wash, and then you put it in just the water side. And then you drain the one side when it's empty, the dirty soapy side, and then you fill that with water. And then you rinse all those and then you dry.
Yeah, but you're still at that point pulling a dish out of the dirty water, which is going to have some dirty water on it, which will then be dunked into the clean water. So it's carrying dirty water into the clean water, infecting it.
You're not really infecting it. It's not like the stuff that you're cleaning off is like food stuff. So it's all right. You just rinse it off. And it's going through like 3 levels. It's all right.
Nah, dishwasher way to go. Sanitize, high temp.
Sanitize high temp.
Yeah.
Do you ever clean your oven with like the clean the oven thing?
I haven't cleaned my oven ever.
Ever?
No, this oven's pretty clean. Maybe I should get
okay.
a cleaning in before it gets too filthy. But I've never done the oven cleaning where you lock it and it gets up to like 10,000 degrees.
Yeah. Everything just turns to ash, I guess.
Is that but you spray it with something, right?
You don't have to, I don't think.
What happens to the spray?
The spray, I don't think you heat up. I think you spray it and then you leave it and it emulsifies everything. And then it like turns it into, like goo. And then you wipe all that out and then it's clean.
Don't want to wipe up.
But that's
goo.
highly toxic. And so it's like really dangerous. Oh, not really. It's just like more scary than other cleaning products because it's like an actual dissolvent. And then, but if you do just the oven thing, you should do that next time on like the coldest day and just clean your oven. It'll help heat your apartment.
Well, when the heat wasn't working, I did open the oven and turn it on.
I don't see, especially if it's not gas.
It's gas.
Oh, that would scare me a little bit.
You're not supposed to do it. I did it for 20 minutes.
I would do it with my oven. I would bake something maybe just to like make an excuse and then just keep the oven open. But I would feel more safe doing it since mine's electric. But with gas, I'd be nervous.
I agree. If
Did you guys get sleepy?
No, if you run it for any extended period of time, like hours, yes, it's not going to be good.
Yeah.
But I felt like I can run it for a quick 20 minutes and heat up this
too. But
space.
What temperature could it get up to for 20 minutes?
Well, that's the thing. It just continues to run, which is why people say that it's dangerous because it's not running the way it normally would run because the door's open and it's going to be pumping more gas. And
you should have kept the door closed, let it preheat until it's to temp, and then turned it off and opened the door.
Yeah. I see. Well, the heat's fixed.
Good.
So I don't have to worry about it.
I don't think my dishwasher thing's going to be that gross because I feel like it was, well, gosh, I was going to say it's been a couple of years since I had a new dishwasher. So this one I think is only like 2 years old.
Well, that's good.
2 years of stuff though.
It may not be as much as you think it is.
Yeah.
It can wash a lot of it down.
Ew.
But some of the stuff, they get stuck, and then the bacteria starts to eat it and turns into a gray sludge.
Ew.
And there's hair that you find in there. Like, how the fuck is there
Hair?
hair in there? It's not like a lot of hair, but there's like there's hair.
Yeah.
I found a piece of glass in mine.
Oh, damn. That makes sense.
Yeah, somebody clearly broke a glass in the dishwasher at some point.
Dang. That's so crazy.
But it's one of those things like I don't want to touch it with anything.
Yeah.
I don't want to touch it with a glove. I don't want to touch it with a paper towel. Between my finger and the sludge, I don't want to use a utensil I'm going to use again in the future because I'll always know that it touched it.
Well, I have rubber gloves. Not like dish gloves, but like gloves. Like latex gloves.
Yeah, I still just don't. I don't.
I love them. I think we should all everyone should have these latex gloves. Because they're so nice when you're like cutting chicken and then you can just peel your gross, salmonella gloves off now. Or like mixing meatloaf or something. You can do it with your hands and it's not crazy.
Yeah, it sounds like something right up my alley because when I touch raw meats, I then scald my hands under the water.
Yeah, so get some gloves. And you feel cool because you're wearing cool gloves. Especially like if you got black ones. Ooh, you could be like a chef. I like the blue ones.
Yeah, it's too expensive.
Nah, they're not that expensive. Get them on Amazon.
It's a lot of money.
Well.
What was I going to say before that? Something very poignant, I'm sure.
Oh, I hate when people say, like when you forget what you're going to say and then someone says, probably wasn't that important. Or must not have been important. Like, yes, it was. I just forgot.
You brought up the gloves and you threw me off.
Oh, you don't want to touch stuff.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say there was one time I found a dead roach in a pot under the sink.
Yeah.
And it was just on its back. It was just dead.
Yeah.
But every time I use that pot, I think of that roach.
Yeah.
The pot's been scrubbed. It's been clean. There's no trace of the roach anymore, but boiling some water for some pasta and I'm eating the pasta and I think roach.
I'm going to find that roach in my mouth in a minute.
It's just so that's why if I used something to clean off the sludge, it would have to be like a wooden chopstick that I then threw away.
Oh, for sure. No, I would never use. Okay. So the only time I've done that is, do you know those like little bitty squishy, if you have kids, like they're these little squishy things. I think they're called like squishmallows, but those are usually stuffed animals, I thought. But anyway, they're these like really satisfying little squishy jelly things. And the kids like them and they get dirty. And so you put them in a little plastic Tupperware and you give them a bath, right? It's kind of fun to do. So I had that on the side of the sink so that the kids could give their little squishy things a bath. And Pete was doing it. And he had blocked the sink, the drain so that it wouldn't go down into and it was the kitchen sink into the disposal. But then somehow he messed it up and they all fell in there. And I used my tongs to pluck them out. And I thought, this is kind of gross.
Yeah.
Oh, and down in there were like old limes that hadn't totally been disposed all of. And so you can't see in there really. So he had like a little flashlight and I was plucking them out. And I was like, oh, one more. And it's a, lime carcass. I was like, ah! So it's pretty gross.
Throw those tongs away.
I can't. I'm still using them.
No, get rid of them. It's disgusting. Please.
Please. What is the show about?
I've been asking this for months now.
I know.
I can take the easy way out and call it our free for fall episode or yearly.
Oh, we should call it that.
Even though that's what every show's become.
That's true. Well, we'll call it that for today.
The free for fall 2024.
Free for fall.
The 5th annual free for fall. Which is what it is. It's the 5th time we've done
That's
a free
crazy.
for fall. Yeah, we're over 300 episodes.
Yeah.
300 episodes and 300 listeners. One listener for
We're
every
whittling
episode.
people down to the
Yeah.
true fans.
It's not that bad.
No, it's not.
But there's no growth. We're not interesting or popular or cute enough. Like all the fucking I turned on the TV in the hotel and I just kind of turned it on. I didn't pay attention to what I was watching. And it was the Today Show. Is that the one with Roker? Is he on the Today Show?
I think so. Or is that Good Morning America?
No, I think he's Today Show because he's an
Okay.
NBC guy.
Oh, okay.
And they're talking about Wicked
Ugh.
and posing the question, should you be singing along in the theater?
Oh,
And the answer
my
is
God.
no. No, you shouldn't be singing along in the fucking theater because people are going to see the movie, not listen to your shitty voice. Or even if you have a good voice, they're not there to hear you sing the songs. So no, you should not be singing. And apparently they've put, AMC at least has put something at the top of the movie, don't sing along, but people don't care. They just don't fucking care. And then they started showing these like TikToks and videos people made of themselves speaking. And one woman's talking about, we've been repressing this for years. Now is our time. We're going to sing. Everyone
repressing
is so
this for years?
Yeah. It's like, you haven't been repressing anything for years. Nobody's stopping you from singing. Nobody's judging you. Well, they are judging you if you're singing in certain situations, but you can sing. Repressing it. It's not like the movies existed and you haven't been allowed to sing. And
there's no repression. You can sing it whenever you want. It's available.
All these, everyone's so self-important. The fact that in a vacuum,
I don't believe that that's real. I don't think that people are like.
Well, the fact that quote news, the Today Show's not fucking news.
Yeah, it's being reported.
The fact that this is being used.
Yeah.
Who the fuck goes? And in general, it is a pretty ridiculous thing. I'm going to take this phone and hold it up to my face and film my opinions and thoughts. And I know you can say, what the hell's the difference? You're doing a podcast with the same thing. Yeah, I get it. But why is it being put on the Today Show?
Because I heard this theory that there are different styles of propaganda. And some styles of propaganda are the ones that we think of, right? Where it's like, like North Korea, right? Where this person is the best and he's the supreme leader and he only cares about you and he's almost a deity and all that. And he can do no wrong. He got a perfect golf game, hole in one on every hole. And then there's the other type where it's like, we're just going to feed you so much information that you become numb to everything. And not only is the information, some of it is important, a lot of it's boring. And so they just lull you into this sense of like, I don't care about anything. And then they can do whatever they want because you're like, whatever. It's the same. I feel like that's where we are because they're like, we have aliens in the ocean. And we're all like, okay, do I still have to pay rent? Are we all still going to work?
You
okay,
really
then
believe
whatever.
These aliens in the ocean?
What's that?
You really believe these aliens in the ocean?
I mean, I just feel like it's different this time because there are people testifying about it.
Because there's some guy speaking to Congress.
Well, there's more than one guy, and he was answering pretty plainly.
Yeah, I watched it. It was fine.
I don't know. I just believe it.
Yeah,
But okay, even if it's
balloons.
not real, no one is responding. It's like, oh, okay. I mean, from our point of view as millennials, and maybe I feel like there's been longer stretches of nothing for other generations before us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where it's like it's so many things. It's the Oklahoma City bombing, and then it's OJ, and then it's school shootings, and then it's buildings and terrorism and wars and more school shootings and riots. COVID. It's just, Y2K. It's just everything we've been through a lot. So it's like, what's next? That's what it feels like. Okay, what's next? So that's why I don't engage, because I don't have to pay attention to what's next if I am just focused on the micro of my life.
Your eggs are too expensive.
Oh, well.
That's what everyone says. This whole election apparently
Comes down to eggs.
was surrounded was based on egg prices.
Yeah.
My eggs. Whenever people came out of the polls, they did the post voting, the exit poll. Like, my eggs are too expensive. President will come in and snap their fingers, make my eggs cheap again. So that's what you're saying, though, right? That the people are worried about their eggs, and they should be worried about the aliens.
No, I'm saying
the ocean.
I'm saying that I don't know what I'm saying. I'm saying no. I'm not drawing the conclusion of the connection between those two things. I'm saying that, you know, it could come out that the nuclear bomb is happening, and it's happening right now. Like, it's coming. Okay. Now what?
Die.
Okay, I guess. Bye.
Sweet relief. All right.
Yeah, and all of this threat of nuclear war. It's like, God, all right.
It's out of your hands.
Yes, everything is.
If you're going to be vaporized.
Right. Not just with that, but with everything. Even if it wasn't something that extreme with nuclear war, but if it was just another war or something, it would just. Okay. You know, how about this? The fact that there's a strong likelihood that, you know, you and I will not be getting our Social Security when we retire, even though we've paid into it since we're 15 or since you started working. What are you going to, like, all right, well, when it comes time, what are you going to do? Like, I don't know, fucking nothing, I guess. What am I going to do?
I'll continue to steal more. I'll wrap up my stealing. But yes, I hear your point. When you can't do anything to fix it.
No, you got to vote. It's like, okay, who gives a fuck? That never changes anything.
You're introducing big ideas at the end.
True.
My brain is ramped down.
My eggs are too expensive.
Exactly. Okay, I gotta go. People are writing me stupid stuff. I got distracted.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks everybody for listening. Sorry to end it on such like a nihilistic.
Don't apologize.
end. Well, on the whole, I'm very happy with life. So it's just talking about this stuff that sometimes it's like, it's like a program running in the background. Anyway, thanks everybody. Love you. I hope you have a lovely Thanksgiving. We'll talk to you next week. Bye.
5 years and you still have not improved on closing the show.
That's not it. It's just natural.
Still awkward as shit.